Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Jamaica News in Review. 2 in custody, Rehanover double murder involving 3-year-old, Chang side saint. Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang has argued that last week's double murder, including a 3-year-old boy in Hanover, has the hallmark of a contract killing, which he says has been on the rise across the nation for the past 6 months. 27-year-old farmer Tavares Stevens, also called T, and 3-year-old Kimoy Williams, both of Cascade, Hanover, were shot at a shop in their Hanover community on Wednesday evening. A third person was shot and injured during the gun attack. Reports are that about 7 p.m., a group of residents was at a shop in Cascade when a white Toyota Axio motor car was driven up and stopped. A male passenger sitting in the back seat reportedly started shooting randomly at the group, forcing them to run for cover. After the shooting subsided, Stevens, Comoy, and the other man were found wounded. On Saturday, the security minister, accompanied by members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF and the Jamaica Defense Force JDF, visited Cascade, where he met relatives of the murder victim's family. The pattern is a contract killing pattern, and we have seen that quite frequently during the course of this year, especially in the last 6 months in particular, overlapping 21 to 2022, said Horace Chang. The contract killings, are conducted by criminals who are not from the area. They tend to shoot at random at public space or public event, and even though they might kill the one they came for, several other people are injured. And that happens because the contract killer is there to kill. They often don't know the person that they are looking for. They also make mistakes. And you get innocent people standing by getting killed. So it's a new element of the crime disease that is of concern and is challenging, added Chang. Head of Area 1 Police Network, Assistant Commissioner Clifford Chambers, revealed that so far, the police have taken 2 persons into custody for questioning in connection with the killings. We have 2 in custody at the moment, and what we know is that it is an association with somebody who is in the hospital, and our investigators are following strong lead that take us outside of this location, said Chambers. There are some interrogations that will continue. We are aware of where it's coming from, and whilst we can't say much on this right now, I'm heartened by the information that is coming from the community itself. Hunt continues for gunmen who killed construction worker in St. Thomas. The St. Thomas police are continuing their hunt for gunmen who murdered a construction worker in Albion in the parish on Thursday. The deceased is 44-year-old Ron Hills of Albion. According to reports, he was a patron at a cookout in the community when he entered a shop to order an item. Several loud explosions were later heard, and he was observed on the ground with multiple bullet wounds. Further reports are that before the gunmen fled the area, a licensed firearm holder challenged one of them and shot him. Despite the injury, the wounded gunman reportedly escaped with his cronies. He was subsequently pronounced dead at hospital. JN Bank warns public of fake Instagram accounts. Jamaica National Bank is imploring the public to be on the lookout for what it says are several fake Instagram accounts that have copied the look and feel of the official JN Bank account on the platform. The bank, in a statement Sunday evening, said some of these fake accounts have reposted some of its original posts and have been reaching out to persons to solicit banking details, as well as attempting to redirect them to a website link. These activities have been reported to Instagram, and we continue to inform all our users of the threat. Please be advised that JN operates one official account on Instagram that can be found at handle @JN Bank Limited. Any account that appears with any variation of the official handle should be deemed fake and immediately reported and blocked, the statement advised. It also stated that JN Bank will never request sensitive personal information, such as online banking password, via direct messages or email. Tears flow at stats for murdered footballer. A somber mood permeated at the air at the St. Andrew Technical High School on Monday as classmates and friends of Omar Lang mourned the shooting death of the promising footballer. Omar was fatally shot in a drive-by on Charles Street in West Kingston on Friday, April 22nd. He was celebrating his 18th birthday when he was shot. Omar's grief-stricken colleagues and football teammates openly wept on the school compound Monday morning while being consoled by visiting members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force (JCF). Inspector Tanisa Johnson, National Safe Schools Unit Coordinator, promised to find those responsible for his killing. Footballers, as I said, there is not any amount of words to console you, but the Jamaica Constabulary Force, we pledge that we will put out all stops, we will stop at nothing at all, and this is not just talking to ensure that those who are involved in the killing of young Omar will be brought to justice, Johnson stated. That's a promise, and we will be delivering on that promise. And just as how we come now to try and console you, because we have to, you are hurting, we will be back here in short order to deliver the message that we have them. You can depend on us, she added. Mr. Williams, a teacher at the school, also remembered the promising football star as a leader and trendsetter who was interested in learning. When I observed him sitting with the footballers, even when they were discussing some things that weren't so right or saying some words, I could never see Omar taking part. He was just sitting there calmly, on his phone or just observing. That's Omar, someone of peace. Yes, we are gonna miss him, but we have to be strong for each other, Mr. Williams stated. Omar was also the leading goal scorer for St. Andrew Technical High School last year during the ISA Digicel Manning Cup competition. 50-year-old man murdered in St. Andrew home. A 50-year-old St. Andrew man was murdered in his Stony Hill home by unknown assailants on Sunday. He has been identified as Larrison Harrison, otherwise called Larry, a tiler of Brooks Level Road, Stony Hill, St. Andrew. Reports from the Constant Spring Police are that about 8:50 p.m., Harrison was inside his house when he was pounced upon by gunmen who opened fire, hitting him. The police were alerted and he was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The police are investigating. Delivery man shot dead while demolishing house. A 30-year-old delivery man, who was among a group of people demolishing a house in Denham Town, was shot dead by a gunman on West Road, Kingston 12 on Sunday. The deceased has been identified as Demar Foot, otherwise called Carlos, of Denham Town address. Reports from the Denham Town Police are that about 5:50 p.m., Foot was among a group of people demolishing a house when he was pounced upon by a lone gunman who opened fire, hitting him. The police were alerted and he was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The other persons escaped unhurt. Investigations are ongoing. Person of interest interrogated in ATM explosion. Cops says another being sought. The persons say they have already interrogated one person of interest and are seeking another in connection with Saturday's explosion at Scotiabank in Port Antonio, Portland. At the same time, the police say an audit is being done to determine how much money was taken. We have various stakeholders involved in the investigations actively pursuing some leads. We already have one person of interest. That person already been interviewed, and we're seeking one other person of interest, Cleon Martin, Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of crime, stated. Acting ACP March said it is still early days into the investigations, but based on the space, he is optimistic that a breakthrough will be made shortly. What I can tell the public is that it is an act of arson and investigations are proceeding along that line. We're still putting together some pieces and seeking additional clues that are coming slowly, but we're optimistic that it is a one-off case of arson, he added. He said the police cannot say definitely the amount of money that has been taken. An audit is currently being carried out, he further stated. A security guard who was injured in the explosion is still being questioned by the police. A section of the Scotiabank, which houses two ATM machines, were destroyed in the explosion heard at approximately 4:10 a.m. on Saturday. On arrival, officers observed fire and smoke coming from the front of the building. Further investigations reveal that the two ATMs were also destroyed during the explosion. Residents, taxi operators protesting over bad roads in Yorktown. Residents and taxi operators in Yorktown, Clarendon are protesting over deplorable road conditions. They are claiming that heavy-duty vehicles transporting material to Foga Road, where a bridge is being constructed, are causing damage to the roads. The work is being undertaken by the National Road Operating and Constructing Company. Stakeholders have accused the agency of failing to address the situation. The construction of the bridge is a part of work being done on the Mapen to Williamsville leg of Highway 2000. The stakeholders are contending that crime activity in the area are also culpable of damages to the road in the Clarendon Southwestern constituency. Some commuters in St. Thomas stranded as cabbies protest. Scores of commuters, including students in St. Thomas, were yesterday morning left stranded as taxi operators withdrew their services in protest over what they describe as unacceptable road conditions across the parish. The operators say that contractors on the ongoing Southern Coastal Highway project have dug up various sections of the main thoroughfare, leaving areas in a deplorable state. Though it pains taxi operator Horace, who plies the Morant Bay to Port Morant Road, to see students stranded, he says he has to do what needs to get the authorities to act. St. Thomas no stay good none at all. We want development because that's good and investors will be coming in, but right now, a pure precipice in the road. The man them dig up 5 miles out a road and gone leave it. We want better than this for the people, he said. President of the Eastern Taxi Association, Kurt Brown, told reporters that though the strike was not a decision of the body, he is in full support of the actions of the operators. They are feeling the pinch of the bad road, and I couldn't tell them not to protest. Once they're not doing anything illegal like blocking the road, I am on board. I know children want to go to school and people want to go to work, but what will happen if all our vehicles break down? There will still be none to take them, he reasoned. According to Brown, the group has had several meetings with the contractor of the road improvement project, China Harbor, but to no avail. We meet a lot of times to see what can be done to have the road in drivable conditions, and we have gotten many promises, but nothing has changed. It cannot continue like this, he said. The operators say they will continue to protest until their concerns are addressed. 2 dead, cop injured in Clarendon crash. 2 people were killed and a third injured in a motor vehicle crash along the Osborne Store Main Road in Clarendon yesterday afternoon. Reporters understand that the injured policeman is in hospital in serious condition. Statutory declaration case of former MP Horace Dolly put off. Former Member of Parliament Horace Dolly, who was summoned to court for failing to file his statutory declaration, had his case put off to July 15 because he is ill. The case was mentioned yesterday in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court. Attorney at law Charles Ganga Singh, who is representing Dolly, apologized to the court for his absence. Ganga Singh, in applying for an adjournment, told the court that Dolly's absence was due to the fact that he was sick. Dolly was served with a summons in March for breaching the Integrity Commission Act. He is accused of failing to file his statutory declaration for the period 2020 to 2021. Male patient taken from Conroe Regional Hospital by cronies. The police were called to the Conroe Regional Hospital in St. James yesterday morning after several men turned up to demand the release of a male patient. It is reported that about 10 a.m., 25 men traveling in 10 motor vehicles drove to the hospital and forced their way inside the accident and emergency ward and demanded the man's release. They reportedly threatened hospital staff and reportedly said they would be in trouble if their friend was not handed over to them. Senior Medical Officer of the Conroe Regional Hospital, Dr. Derek Harvey, told reporters that the staff reported to him that they came under duress for the men. The staff decided to call hospital security and the police. The man, who was being treated for a medical condition, was not quite ready to be discharged, Harvey stated. He said the patient subsequently took his own discharge. My understanding is that the patient was conscious at the time and the situation de-escalated once his colleagues collected him and removed him from the property. It is reported that when the police arrived on the scene, it was indicated that the men had reportedly already forced the man's mother to sign his discharge, and he then left in their company. The situation was subsequently calmed. No one was harmed. The police confirmed that the patient, who hails from Mount Herbert in the parish, is not considered to be a don. An investigation is being carried out to determine if the patient is involved in any criminal activities. Meanwhile, Harvey noted that incidents like what happened yesterday had happened in the past. Noting that security is important, he said yesterday's incident will be reviewed and safety measures reinforced. Official statement from Assistant Commissioner of Police Clifford Chambers in regards to the incident at Cornwall Regional Hospital.
This morning, there was a patient from a Mafuta district in St. James who was admitted at the Cornwall Regional Hospital with a medical condition. He was restrained based on his behavior by the medical team and was being treated. However, his relatives might have been of the view that the issue that he was suffering from was not medical but was spiritual, and proceeded to release the restraint and became boisterous with the medical team, indicating that they want him to be released from the hospital. As a result of that, the medical team, I was advised, decided to release the patient in the custody of his mother and have his mother sign a release form, and thereafter they left with him. Police responded to a complaint, and upon the arrival of the police, the medical team, I was advised, briefed the police, after which the police left the location to carry out further inquiries. There was no confrontation between police and any gunman at that location, and there was, for that matter, no confrontation between police and the family members. The gentleman is a former taxi operator and from all indication was never part of any gang and has never been involved in any confrontation with the police. As it is right now, we are looking at the situation to see what next the police can do to intervene in the man's condition, because the medical team are of the view that he has a medical condition and not a spiritual condition, as we call obia.
KC students turn away over grooming. Several students at Kingston's College were barred away from entering the compound yesterday morning as they were deemed not properly groomed. The exercise started as early as 7:30 a.m. and as students arrived for school, they were told that they will not be admitted. The action left the barred students upset. The majority of the students were told that their hairstyles were deemed improper or not fit for the classroom. Sir, at the last week of school, we have exam next week. That not right. The government said they must not turn us out, and this is what they're doing, a grade 11 student reported. Some of the boys remained at the gate, while others went home. This completely goes against what the Ministry of Education says. Most of these students are preparing for CXCs. If anything happens to any of these boys, it will be on KC, a disgruntled parent reported. Police locate man seen in viral video holding gun. Police have located the man who was seen in a video holding what appeared to be a rifle. However, the police have not retrieved the gun. They say that the man is believed to be of an unsound mind. On Monday, the police issued a public appeal for information to identify and locate him. This was in response to the video of him being in possession of a gun, which went viral on social media platforms. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.